Hi folks, I'm Gopher, this is GeeksZilla, and today we're going to have a wee talk about paint. The other day there, my mate Gordy put up a wee post on Facebook that I found quite amusing. It was a petition asking Games Workshop to change from these into these. Now, I shared it up on the GeeksZilla page. I shared it about a few places because it's a bit of a giggle. It's never going to happen. And obviously, I didn't think anyone would take it particularly seriously, and I don't think anyone took it particularly seriously. However, it did show up a fair bit of interesting viewpoints that I didn't know about. So, personally, I prefer dropper bottles, and I know a lot of people who prefer the Games Workshop bottles. So, the thing that annoys me about these is this. So it's this build up you get in here. Now GW are some of the best paints on the market. The pigment content is fantastic. The consistency it thins down really well, it goes really far. But I feel like I lose a lot of it. Whereas with dropper bottles, I feel I get more out of it. It lasts longer. People have said about this, which is the build up on the inside of the cap. Now there are ways to avoid that. Obviously, just cleaning the head of this at the time before you put the cap back on. And with this, I don't know. I always make sure that I wipe the back of that lid bit, the wee well, on the pot to try and avoid the build-up, but I still seem to end up with it. Now for me as well, it causes a bit of a non-airtight seal when it's there, so that can cause the paint to dry out. I'm going to bring the camera around over this way and sort of go over a few wee bits and pieces that I've found about various different types of paints, okay? And some other ideas for you if you want to change from this to this, or vice versa, okay? So I'll just change the camera around and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so welcome to the Desk of Chaos. Right. These are the two paints I was showing you earlier on. So in a lot of cases here I'll be teaching my granny to soak eggs, because any experienced hobbyist is going to know this stuff, but there's always folk out there who are new to the hobby. Now, one of the things that came up, my mate Andy was saying he likes a good deworming process every so often. So basically, he finds it quite cathartic to do this bit. So this one's not playing very well, but basically just take some sort of fairly sturdy implement and get into there we go, the wee groove at the back of the cap, and scrape out the dried out paint. And that will extend the life of your paint, because it'll stop it drying out quite so quickly. Now that wee thing needs to go back through there, and then you'll get a better seal on it. So that's that done. On these ones, once you're done with your painting, unlike me, I'm a messy bugger. So just give that a wee clean. And if you are ending up with stuff in there, you can, again, you see it's liquid on that one and not dried in. Just take a bit of your kitchen roll, give it a wee twist, put that in. And it'll sort of stop it gumming up in the cap of that as well. As I said, when you go to scrape that stuff out, you can see it's more of a liquid. So, when your paints are getting old and almost used up, I've got a white here that I keep in a little socket, as in like the tools, and I'll leave it like that so that it's easier to use for the last little bit of it, so I'm not wasting much. But when you get to the end, take a pair of pliers. This is snips, but I would say don't use snips. Pull the top out, put a little bit of your thinners in, give it a shake, and you'll get more paint out of it. You will get to the stage, obviously, where it is far too thin to use anything, and it's just gone at that point. But yeah, that's that. So you can thin them down. Again, you thin down those in the pot if you wish. You can dilute them once you've got a bit of space. The other thing that I got ages ago, and it's been a bit of a work in progress, is these. Now, I think this cost about £3 for a bag of 50 of them. And then I got these, which are chemistry pipettes. And again, for the bag of about 100, I think they were about £2, maybe a little bit more. So what I am in the process of doing is transferring all my paints out of bottles like this into bottles like this. And the process is quite simply pipette in, paint. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do this one. The process is quite simple. So, take your pipette, dip it in the paint. Obviously, you've squeezed it beforehand, and you fill that up with paint. Pop it into this, give it a squeeze out. Now, the thing about the hobby for me is there is no right or wrong way to do anything. There's what works for you. When I'm painting, if I make a mistake, it becomes not a mistake by just going with it and adding something else or working it into whatever it is I'm doing. This is a fairly lengthy process. As you can see, there's going to be a lot of paint left in the pipette. It won't be too much of an issue, and I'll show you why. Now these GW paints fit these small bottles pretty well. I wanted to get bigger bottles. I thought I'd ordered bigger ones, but obviously this is what I got. Now, take your thinners and put them into a different tub, because you don't want to contaminate all your thinners with the colour you're working on at this time. If you're squishing the pipette, hold it upside down and squeeze the bubble so that you're not squishing paint out the end of it. Suck up a bit of this thinners. Put that into your GW paint, or whatever paint comes in this little pot, or type of pot. Give that a shake. You want to get more, I'll probably speed this bit up, because it does take a wee bit of time. Again, a little bit more thinner. Now what I'm doing here is soaking a bit of the paint in with the thinners in it, blasting it against the bits on the bottom, just to try and make sure we get as much of the paint out as possible. Now, there's a little bit too much in that. Just soak it back out, put it in there, push that wee top bit in, screw the lid on, good shake, and that's you transferred, obviously, your paint into a dropper bottle. Okay, and then I just label them up, wee sticky labels, and then a bit of sellotape over it to cover it up so it doesn't get damaged. And sometimes you can get a couple out of the sink. I mean, I've used a fair bit of this yellow, so there wasn't a full one in it. Again, when I'm doing airbrushing as well, I use these bottles to thin my paints even more so. So let's have a look at this. This is the yellow I've just done. There we go. So that's that. And then these are the ones that I do up for when I'm using my airbrush. So this one is, I want to say XV88. And you can see the difference straight away on how much thinner that is. So these wee bottles are a really good investment if you want your paints thinned for either airbrush or just in general. So what I'm going to do with the leftovers in this is get some more of this thinner. I use Luke Fellows from Luke's APS recipe for Floyd. It's an older one. I don't know if he's done a new recipe for Floyd, but basically this is alcohol, distilled water, and a little bit of the vegetable oil stuff. Name will come back to me in a second. Either that or I'll put it up in a title. And I put like 2 little drops of that in there. You don't need a lot of it. All it does is the oily substance in it makes the paint sort of not spread out too much. So we'll grab another bottle. That wasn't good. Thankfully it's not hit anything important. If it had hit anything important, that would have been one of those mistakes that I'd be like, oh, I just need to figure out a way to work with that now. I'm a messy git. So this is what's left of the thinners, and this is why I said make sure you put it into a different little tub. Don't take it straight out the bottle with the pipette, because it ends up... There's still a fair wee bit of pigment left in this pot. So, out of that 1 pot of GW paint, I've got this one that is ready to use, fairly well mixed. I'll probably still need a little bit of thinning. And this one, which is about 2/3 full, ready to go for the airbrush. And 1 GW pot, fairly well cleaned out. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera back round and gas for a little bit longer, so just give me 2 wee seconds and I'll be back with you. So yeah, you can have your paints and eat it. Basically, pots, if that's the way you work, that's grand. If you like them in dropper bottles, you've got a way to change them over. Whatever you do, just try not to be as messy as me. I'm a bit shaky, so sometimes I have wee accidents that way. My floor is completely covered in paint from where I've dropped it over the year. Well, yeah, it's been years since I've been here now, so my wee painting corner has kind of travelled around the house. It was in the hall, it was in the living room, it was in a wee cupboard off the living room, but it was too dark, and now I'm here in the kitchen. The kitchen's the best of the places I've been. It's big and bright. I get good sunlight coming through on actual sunny days, which are rare here. And also I have lino on the floor instead of me making a mess of the carpet with the spilled paint and stuff like I used to. So I think my wife appreciates it much more that I'm dropping the paint in here than in the living room. But you can ask yourself in one of her videos, see what she says. So yeah, that petition that was put up, obviously it's a good little giggle. GW are never going to take it seriously. Obviously nobody's meant to take it seriously. Well, I hope nobody's meant to take it seriously. I assume it was just done as a little giggle. But if you like your paints in pots, keep them in pots. If you like them in the dropper bottles, keep them in the dropper bottle. Change them into the dropper bottles if you want. You can also do that the other way around. Obviously, just squeeze all the paint in, put some thinners in, give it a shake, and put it into a pot. If you prefer using pots, I tend to find especially when I'm loading the airbrush, the dropper bottles are a lot better to use. If I'm doing general painting, I put paint onto my tile that I use as a palette or my wet palette, mix it, thin it, and then obviously I'll close up the pot I'm using, I'll put the lid back in the dropper bottle. But I still prefer distributing the paint out of the dropper bottle just because I feel I get what I'm looking for in it. So yeah, hints and tips on how to stop your paint drying out and putting it into the dropper bottle. If you want to see more of these sort of hints and tips videos, put a wee comment in the bit down below. If you want to see anything else, if there's anything you'd like me to do a video on, again leave a comment down below. Joe, I know you're going to say painting. I'll see what I can do. I'm not guaranteeing anything. And yeah, leave a like if you like it. Subscribe if you could. Don't forget, there's only a couple of days left now to get a comment in on the Street Wars video to try and win that on the 1st of February. Okay, see you later folks.